Well, I'm really proud of our team. I thought we just went for it. It was a great college game. Here it is, the third game of the season. Two good teams throwing punches at each other. I just thought we couldn't get our hands on a couple defensive rebounds that really would have made a difference. And credit Ohio State, they made a few more physically tough plays around the rim that hurt us.
Tom Noy, go ahead.
Mike, did you have a sense there in the second half where once you lost Juwan, if they started going inside the way they did, you were really going to be up against it?
Yeah, we it was a weird night for Juwan, and you're like, well, you save him, and he just never got into much of it. He actually got into a little bit of a rhythm, and then he got his fourth, I think. He made a nice pass to Dane, but that hurt us. We need him in there, and playing some zone helps us. I didn't think we could play it as much tonight. We just were a little tired. But our freshmen, we're throwing them in against Ohio State, and they're trying. They're working their butts off. I thought Matt Zona was a bright light. He didn't play much the other night. He's flying around, getting us rebounds, and but we could use one more body, and maybe we'll get one more body in Trey. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Tom Noy, go ahead again with the follow-up.
Mike, I know it's a loss, but just the compete level against this Big Ten team compared to the last time you played a Big Ten team.
I think there's some growth, Tom. Again, our guys they're crushed, but it was better than up at Michigan State, and I just love that we were going for it, and I loved who we were offensively. Like, we found a nice rhythm, and we're moving the ball, and we just got to clean it up on that backboard a little bit, and help our guys out on that end of the floor. But I'm really disappointed we lost, but I really like what I saw and who we can be.
Next up, Patrick Ingle.
Mike, what did you see on defense from your guys there in the final 10, 12 minutes where they seemed to...
I thought we didn't have a whole lot of oomph in the lane. And you've heard me talk about this in our program. Skilled guys, can we deliver enough oomph against Power 5 bodies to, get enough defensive rebounds, yet they have to guard us on the other end. And for a lot of the game, we had the upper hand in that department, but I thought a couple defensive rebounds we couldn't get that, just kind of hurt us, almost like we were trying too hard. We were almost working too hard to get it, to squeeze it. So I can't fault our guys for that. I just kind of love who we are.
Tim O'Malley, go ahead.
Coach Ryan had 15 in the first half, but could only squeeze off one shot in the second. Was that just Washington really hounding him, or is it something where you kind of got to get him looking for that a little bit more when things get tough?
Yeah, I think we've got to look at that and how to help him. I'm still trying to figure out how to coach him and use him. He did get loose. Probably they were a little more aware of him. But I also think there was a fatigue factor with him. We hit the wall about that 8-minute mark physically, and Tony and Matt are trying like heck to give us some stuff. As I said, we could use one more guy to kind of rotate through, especially on the perimeter, and we'll see what happens with Trey's situation.
John Bryce, go ahead.
Mike, the performance tonight from Prentice, I think a career high, obviously not the outcome you wanted, but what's the value there long-term for the younger guys, particularly Tony and Matt, as they're continued to be thrust into a role?
Well, Prentice Hub is a flat-out winner, and he at times, has been dragging this group along with him, and he did tonight. I just love his leadership. I love his toughness. And he says to me walking off floor, "That's my fault tonight." I mean, are you kidding me? Stop. We're not even in the game without him. So my biggest thing is getting him some rest over the next 48 hours, and I'm going to turn him loose again in Lexington, Kentucky. But he's just an all-around guard, and there's a toughness about him. He's a leader. I love coaching him.
Tom Noy, go ahead.
Mike, what is it about Trey's situation that gives you optimism that you might be close, you could be close, he
Yeah.
might play?
Well, I think it's being discussed. You know, I think there's a lot of discussion at the NCAA level on, you know, having availability of guys on your roster. And, you know, so I know that discussion is going on. I think you probably saw something about December 16th, them really thoroughly talking about that. I think that is accurate from the information I have, that is going to be a thorough discussion about all the young men in a situation like Trey is. Remember, when we took Trey, we took him under the condition that he was going to sit out. You know, like I've always been a proponent of sitting out. I sat out every great transfer we've had. I like the 5-year sit-out guys, but that certainly, I think, is changing in January, where that's not going to be the case anymore. You know, and so I think there is a school of thought that, you know what, maybe all these guys need to be eligible now so we can get through a season and not cancel games. And I applaud the NCAA for at least discussing this next Wednesday. I applaud them. This doesn't move that fast usually. I have the utmost respect that it's at the discussion level on a serious note next Wednesday.
Final question. We'll go to Patrick Ingle.
Mike, you talked after the opener about Prentice is going to have to force some things and still learn to find that right balance. What did you notice out of him tonight where seemingly he picked all the right moments to when to force it, when to pass?
Patrick, I thought each game better against Detroit, shot selection, running our team, and even better tonight. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I thought his shot selection was great. We executed that 2-for-1 at the end of the half. That was him, all timing. And I met with our guards today, you know, Cormac, Dane, him, and Trey, and I just talked about we've got to get a great shot every time. I thought we took some bad shots at Michigan State, and it came back on us in transition. We didn't do that tonight. And that's why we had a chance to win the game against a good team. We got really good shots. Their defense picked up at times, and they're a good defensive team. But, you know, I thought Prentice's quarterbacking was spot on and gave us a chance to win.
Thank you very much, Coach
Thanks.
Brey.